welcome to math. Oop, I'm not at the beginning. I'm assuming that since I didn't hear anything otherwise, that Pear Deck worked for you. And if so, I am curious to see, what did you think about it? Like I said yesterday, kids here really, really like it. So I'm hoping that you like it as well. So you are going to open up your Pear Deck app after you watch this lesson, and you're going to walk through it, but I'm just going to go through what it will look like. So as always, the first thing you're going to do is count by fives to 400. I'm wondering if you've noticed yourself becoming a better counter. Remember, practice, practice, practice. The only way that you can be a better counter is by practicing. So you will listen to that. Then we're going to do a quick review. We're kind of all over the place in this lesson just because we've learned a lot of things, and I don't want us to forget the things that we've learned. So here we go. This is a Pear Deck slide. Actually, it's not. I need to make it a Pear Deck slide right now. Here, you're going to see what it looks like. So you're going to count the coins, and then you will write a number in your box. So you'll enter a number for how many coins there are. Remember, you always want to count the biggest coin first. Not the biggest in size, but the biggest amount. So our quarters are worth the most. So I'm going to count my quarters first. Then I'm going to count dimes because they're worth 10. Nickels because they're worth 5. And then very last, pennies. So I don't have any nickels on this page, but if I did, I would count it quarters, dimes, nickels, and pennies. All right, here's another one. Again, I haven't made it a Pear Deck slide yet. So this one, I want you to draw. So on this one, you will draw. Now, you can also type it. So if you don't like writing with the cursor, you can always type it. But again, quarters, dimes, nickels, and then pennies. I want you to count the coins and tell me what the worth is of this page. All right. So this week we've really been focusing on how you can show or represent a number. And we talked about standard and expanded form on Monday. And then we talked about word form and model form yesterday. And this is what it looks like. So I have the number 123 in all four ways. I have 123 in standard form right here. I have 123 in expanded form right here. I have it in word form right here. And then I have it in model form, or just base 10 blocks down here. So we're going to practice that. This is an easy thing to practice because, as you'll see at the bottom of your screen, at the end of this lesson, you can always create your own piece of paper to practice this on. So here, let me show you what I mean. So here's a blank piece of white paper. I'm pretty sure you guys all have journals, and if you don't, you need to get one. I'm going to divide my paper into 4 boxes, like this. Then I like to erase the middle part just a little bit so I can make a box, but you don't have to do this part. Like this. And then inside that box, you can think of a number to build, or a grown-up can think of a number. I'm going to think of the number 312. I write it in the center, and then all around, I show the 4 ways. So standard, expanded, word, and model. You can even write it. I like to write an S for standard, E for expanded, W for word, and M for model. So there you go. E, S, M, W. And then I would show all my ways. And that's something you can do over and over. If you have a pocket protector, you could stick it in there, and then you could erase it with a dry erase marker. There's lots of ways to practice. All right, let's go on to the next slides. Okay, so these next slides are draggables. And so I want to know if the number that's in the middle of your screen is a standard, expanded, word, or model form. So you'll drag your little purple circle to the correct answer down below. So do you think this is standard form, expanded form, word form, or model form? So you'll drag it on down. Same thing with this, 417. Is this written in standard form, expanded form, word form, or model form? Same thing with this, standard, expanded, word, or model. Expanded, standard, word, or model. You're dragging your purple dot down. All right. Now, sometimes you can show the same number in the same form, but in a different way. So I'm going to say that again because it's kind of a tongue twister and it's kind of confusing. So you can show the same number in the same form, but in a different way. So I could show the number 20, say I were using base 10 blocks. I could show that number with 20 ones, right? 20 cubes. That would be one way to show that. I could show it with 2 sticks or 2 tens. That would be another way to show 20, all right? Or I could show it with 1 10 and 10 ones. So that's 3 ways that I can show the same number using the same form. I was using model form for all those. Okay, so here's another way to look at it. These are 2 expanded forms. It's just different how I write them. So I can do 600 plus 60 plus 10, or I can write it as 600s plus 6 tens plus 6 ones. And I want you to remember that because on some of the assessments that we take, it tries to trick you by using the same form, but writing it in different ways for the same number. And I don't want you to get tripped up on something like that. I want you to take your time and know that sometimes you can show the same number in the same way, but just a little different. And that's an example of that. Like I was saying before, here's another way. So this is the same number. The number that I'm showing here is the same number that I'm showing here. I'm using the same form. This is a model form in model form, but it just looks a little different. So here I have 100, 200, and then here I have 100, 110, 120, 130, 140, 150, 160, 170, 180, 190, 200. So same form, just looks a little different. Same number. All right, so now when you are doing this on Pear Deck, I want you to show me 2 ways to show me 50 using model form. Okay, so remember, model form is using base 10 blocks. So I want to know, how can you show me 50 using in 2 ways? Okay, so this is a drawing one, so you'll have to draw. And remember, drawings should be nice and neat. Drawings aren't helpful if they're messy. All right, so just like I showed you on this is your chance on your slide to do the same thing. So in the middle of this, it says 214. On this slide, you're going to show me standard form, expanded form, word form, and model form of 214. All right, now this is a choice board. This is always an option for online or in-person kids because sometimes I have a chunk of math time and we finish before the whole lesson's over. Now, the benefit of being in person or not, man, I'm getting them switched up. The benefit of being online is once you have finished the slide, I want you to do the independent practice. That looks like this. Now, if you don't have this sheet, which you don't, you'll need to make your own like this. Okay, and that will be your independent practice. Otherwise, if you picked up your packet today, these are in there. You don't have to do them, but you may. You can also, at this point, do extra math because that's something that you must do. So after you do the independent practice, I would say that you must do extra math. And then if you have time and you want to do more math, then do one of these. Don't do them all. Just choose one if you have time. And if you don't have time, that's perfectly fine. All right. So as always, I will put the Pear Deck link under this video, and you will go back in and you will do these slides on your own. All right. See you tomorrow.